All right, welcome back, everybody. Got some news finally coming out today. I haven't made any videos in a while because I am just not covering. There's really nothing to cover with some of these lawsuits until something actually happens. Too much of the news that's going out just seems to be giving false hope for people that do want Trump to win, and other people are just saying it's just a bunch of nonsense. Trump's trying to do a coup, whatever. So, until anything actually comes out of these lawsuits, there's been a lot of false reporting. Some of the websites are saying like 50 lawsuits have been filed, and such many of them been tossed out. Well, there's actually only been three filed by the Trump campaign. As far as I know, they're still ongoing, other than the Pennsylvania one. Looks like Supreme Court has kind of denied that they're going to hear the case. It's still an open case, but it looks like it's not going anywhere. But today we do have some news. It looks like Texas has decided to file its own suit for the Supreme Court. So we'll take a look at this article here. We got Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton today filed a lawsuit against Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin and the United States Supreme Court. The four, what it's saying is that the four states exploited the COVID-19 pandemic to justify ignoring federal and state election laws and unlawfully enacting last minute changes, thus skewing the results of the 2020 general election. The battleground states flooded their people with unlawful ballot applications and ballots while ignoring statutory requirements as to how they were received, evaluated, and counted. And basically, what they're claiming is, by these other states possibly not following the correct rules, it makes all the states that did follow the proper procedures. If something happened in these four states that did change the election, everybody else that voted is essentially getting screwed. So that's basically what the lawsuit is claiming. This does, in my eyes, have a better chance than anything else that's come out so far. But once again, I don't want people to get up a bunch of false hope. It still is up to the Supreme Court whether or not they will even hear the case. Uh, there's been a lot of reporting that as of now it's already over because I think, yesterday uh, the states all turned in their electoral their electoral votes, so they basically technically have called the election, but there's still an actual process. I think they have, I think, up to maybe December 12th to hear it, and then of course nothing is official until inauguration day. There's claims that a number of other states have joined the lawsuit. That's not actually true. Here we have attorney generals from other states expected to join, but they can't actually join until the Supreme Court agrees to hear the case. They can't just tag along. So right now they're basically showing support, and it looks like we have 7 states that might join: Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, and South Dakota. So this is very interesting. The fact it takes up to 4 justices to confirm whether or not they will hear the case, and then it'll go forward from there. The fact that Trump, put in some of these justices, I think that there's a good chance that they will hear this case. So it'll be very interesting to see where this one goes. I really haven't covered much on any of the other ones because I just didn't think that they were going to go anywhere. But this, to me, seems to have a little bit more merit because this isn't coming out of Trump. This is coming out of Texas. And if this does go before the Supreme Court and Ted Cruz decides to speak on behalf I mean, this could get very interesting. So, some other interesting news, YouTube put out a new guideline here saying that they are now going to ban any new videos that are claiming U.S. election fraud. Basically, today they came out and said that because, saying enough states have certified Joe Biden as the next U.S. president to make it official. The problem with that is, once again, we're having media outlets and now tech companies you know, telling us what we can and cannot say, or basically telling us, the reality that we're living in, and completely ignoring the entire process. That yes, enough states have certified him, but there's still ongoing lawsuits that are questioning the certification process. So I still believe the Gore Bush thing. What was it, back in 2000? I think that didn't get settled till December 12th. So we still have a few more days to see where this goes. But this to me is very disturbing, because this is now YouTube actively censoring things that they claim, just because they feel it's misleading. I mean, unless we have proof of fact, we really don't know about the fraud. I mean, it does look like that there has been legit examples. I don't know if anybody has seen the video of like them pulling out the suitcases in Michigan after all the voter attendees left and doing a ballot dump. I mean, just a lot of fishy stuff that went on. So to flat out just ban any video that even wants to discuss the issue, to me is very scary. That's the beginning of, just you know shutting down an argument by simply silencing people, by not even allowing them to have a platform in which to speak. And that to me is scary, especially as someone who gets a lot of their news from YouTube and then other social media sources, because the mainstream has already been completely bought and corrupt. So the fact that they're going to now censor these other outlets too is, you're not going to be left with anywhere to get, any real news. So yeah, that was the big news today. Just one other thing I just wanted to cover. I thought this was interesting, and it's something else that I don't see being covered at all in the mainstream. Here is probably images of probably one of the biggest protests that has ever gone on in a long time. I mean, this is just one image. There's tons of images online. If you just look up Paris protest, it's tons and tons of people. Our news isn't covering this. And what they are protesting, basically, I mean, they're already in their second weekend now of protest over a controversial security law. So let's take a look at this here. It says hundreds of rallies were planned across the nation Saturday to protest legislation that would make it illegal to record video or take photos of police officers with obvious intention to harm their physical or psychological integrity. Now that leaves a lot open to interpretation. Psychological integrity, that they might feel uncomfortable with you videoing them. Basically, it's a way to keep people from filming police. And they're saying here offenders could face up to a year in prison and a fine of up to 45,000 euros. So that's that's quite scary. They're saying it intensified after three white police officers a week earlier were captured on video beating a black music producer, and four officers were charged in connection with it. So this is, France doesn't have the Bill of Rights like we have here in America. So there's really not much they can do if they tell you you can't film police. Well, then you're just screwed, and it just allows them to just become this complete totalitarian police state. And I just find it interesting because I often hear a lot from some people that when people talk about how great America is, they're always like, well, America isn't the greatest country in the world. And often the ones that they like to point to are some of the countries over, the Western countries over in Europe, namely France, Germany, and Britain, that like, oh, well, they're doing a lot of things better than we do, that a lot of their healthcare programs are better, a lot of them claim, Germany does better with their energy department, with nuclear energy and stuff. But one of the things that those countries don't have is a Bill of Rights, and that is one of the things that protects us, from things like this. A lot of people might not remember, but Obama had a problem with the Bill of Rights. He had wanted to create a second Bill of Rights of things that the government could do for you, but said that the original Bill of Rights was kind of outdated because it prevented the government from doing things from you. And that's how these people look at these documents, as an obstacle to overcome. They'd love to shred it up and shred up the Constitution along with it so they can just completely do whatever they want. It does seem like they're basically doing whatever they want, but yeah, I don't know. I will keep you posted on the Texas stuff as more information comes out. And until then, stay safe, everybody.